Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Nurul Irdina Farzana binti Zulkifli. My matrix number is PS221605661. Firstly, Sabah is the biggest state in contributing to oil palm commodity in Malaysia. Malaysia presents the total hectares of palm oil area 1.5 million hectares and 24.1% of palm oil came from the state. With the rapid expansion of oil palm plantation and required high labor intensive in this sector, more than 80% of plantation labor in the state mainly came from Indonesia and Philippines. The pressing issue now is the rising social issue of the illegal foreign worker without permit. Nevertheless, the problem is compounded by the fact that it is difficult to hire local youth worker and the progress on mechanization has also not been encouraging. Since the colonial government began encouraging Chinese and Indian labor migration in the early 20th century, the Malaysia economy has relied heavily on foreign labor to sustain its development, especially pati, post-independence, rubber, and palm oil plantation cultivation occurring alongside rapid industrialization contributed significantly to rural poverty economy. The agriculture sector, still a significant contributor to Malaysian gross domestic product as GDP, remains dependent on migrant workers largely due to labour shortage that have plagued the industry for years. According to the Malaysia Palm Oil Board (MPOB), Malaysia Primary Authority on Sector data in 2010, and an estimated 69% of industry employees were foreign workers in 2011. This increased to 76.5% in 2012 and 78% by 2015, prompting researchers and industry practitioners to assert that all palm plantations in Malaysia are too dependent on foreign workers, notably from Indonesia. The entry of illegal foreign workers to prevent Malaysia from being accused and practicing forced labour and engaging in human trafficking activities. The foreign workers meant for agriculture industry were not allowed to work in other sectors. The entry of foreign workers into the agriculture industry is specifically to work on farms, and entry into other sectors is not permitted. I would like to state my argument about the effect of people without identification documents, that is known as party, on the agriculture industry in Sabah. Basically, in my opinion, there is two arguments that I want to divide that I can see in a positive side and negative side. Based on the information that I know, most of the immigrants that came to Malaysia work in oil palm plantation, rubber estates, and the mining and construction industry, with 1.2 million of foreigners in Tawau. Tawau having the highest number at 180,000, followed by Sandakan and Kota Kinabalu. Some of the foreigners worker that came to Malaysia basically suspected of smuggling foreigners into work in oil palm plantation, that some of them were protected by locals who used them for cheap labor and even given identification cards. Based on the graph that we can see and the data that I got from year 2022, oil palm planted area in Sabah is 1,005,023 and 624 hectares. We can see that the oil palm for immature is 12.6% with 191,643 hectares, and less than the mature of oil palm production, that is 87.4% with 1,331,981 hectares. We also can see that the area planted in Sabah from 2009 until 2021 is becoming decreased. For total production of crude palm oil is 361,537 tons that they can produce within 1 year in 2022. It is also becoming decreased within 6.2%. It is also stated that the price of crude palm oil in Sabah is 5,029 ringgit 79 cent per tons. What I can see in positive side, in all palm industry, the difference wages between local workers and foreign workers also become one of the issue in this sector. Mostly, local workers gain high salary than foreign workers even though they are doing the same work in plantation industry. Employers are more likely to employ foreign workers than local because they reduce their cost of production. Also, employers prefer illegal foreign workers because they do not often ask for time off, even on major holidays, making them highly efficient during peak harvesting. They also tend to accept lower wages and poor working conditions, which can depress wages and decrease the motivation to improve conditions to attract local workers. Most employers believe it is much cheaper to employ foreign labor, especially illegal foreign workers, due to relative low wages. For many employers, the main advantage of hiring party is that they are perceived as having a more positive work attitude and ethic than native workers. In a particular country, immigrants like party have higher productivity than local workers. They also easily adapt in the labor market of the host country. In Malaysia, immigrants have important contribution to the economy growth. In my opinion, for the negative side that will give impact to agriculture is it will reduce the productivity and quality control within the industry. Most of the foreign workers arriving in Malaysia is semi-skilled or unskilled. It will cause local and new graduates to stay away from the industry because of 3D. What is 3D? 3D stands for difficult, dirty, and dangerous. Next, the effects also will give impact that we will losing billion ringgits in palm oil exports if we don't hire labor as soon as possible because of area planted in Sabah is the biggest area. It is because of the scarcity of foreign labor to harvest fruit bunches in oil palm fields. In addition, the most affected activities are harvesting fresh fruit bunches, that is called FFB, and loose fruit collection as the jobs have been done mostly by party. Generally, the agriculture in Sabah continues to experience labor shortage, particularly in terms of skilled workers. However, employment of immigrant workers without identification cards has also been associated with decreased productivity because of added communication and integration costs. Found that unskilled migrant labor help output to expand initially, but still showed slowing productivity growth in the period. However, the larger of the number of party in Sabah, it will bring less opportunity for local workers to get a job in certain areas. If there are too many immigrants, this will harm the local community, especially in economic side. The immigrants without legal document will give an impact that it will reduce the wages and employment rate of local workers. From my arguments, I would say that illegal foreign workers without document have a positive effect and may also be a negative impact on employment rate and wage of the state. Entry of party has a negative correlation to employment rate and wage as well. This explains the increase of party into Sabah will lead to reduced wages and employment rate also fell. But there are also positive impact that we can see, especially to employers to take party as their workers. It can reduce their cost of production and wages to foreign workers. Based on the finding, the entry of foreign workers in Sabah has a relationship with the rates of wages and employment for local workers in the long run. Changes in the total labor force will have an impact on immigration and negative impact on wages and employment of local workers. That's all I can say about my arguments of the effect in agriculture industry in Sabah based on my research. Thank you.